All right, 2024 is officially wrapping up. So what I wanted to do is just kind of make a video kind of thinking back on the gear that I acquired or got on loan from B&H. Big shout out to B&H. Thank you for being such a huge supporter of this channel. Or the gear that was just sent to me from brands to review or whatever. Now, this is just stuff that I've actually used. So there are a lot of other cool announcements that were out there that I didn't get to use. So I'm not talking about those. This is just stuff I have personal experience with. And for the most part, everything that came out in 2024, but there are a couple of items on this list that I acquired this year and kind of got first time use, but didn't necessarily come out this year. But still wanted to mention those because they're really great. So kind of sort of categorize these into a few items, and to help the average view duration, I'm going to leave cameras at the very end because that's what everybody seems to care about on YouTube. But there are other cool things other than cameras to talk about. That said, first up, let's go ahead and dive into the first category, and that is audio. Now, there are two items in here. The first item is the DD-PR2. I got that in earlier this year, and I made a whole review on that, so go ahead and check that out. I'll be sure to leave it in a link to that in the description below. I think I will, if I remember right. If I don't, then just head over to my YouTube homepage and you'll find the video there. Next up is an item that did not come out in 2024, but I acquired in 2024, and that is the Sennheiser MKH50, which is what I'm using right now to record this audio, and it is a fantastic mic. It sounds so good. I use it on all of my indoor interviews and all those shoots and stuff like that. It just sounds so good. Next up, we'll go into lenses. Now, I'm going to split this up into anamorphic lenses and spherical lenses. So for anamorphic lenses, I'm going to give it to the Nanomorph zoom lenses. Super awesome lenses. I was kind of tossed up between the Nanomorph zoom and the Nanomorph macro because that's a really cool lens as well, because macro and anamorphic usually don't go hand in hand, especially at the price point. But I do think I am more excited about the Nanomorph zooms because zooms are super convenient. They are really great lenses. I've made some content around those as well, and I'll be sure to link them down below or something up here, wherever. Great lenses, super fun, super just enough character for anamorphic, but clean enough to where you could get away with using them on a corporate shoot as long as you are familiar with all the character and stuff like that. Now for spherical lenses, I'm going to give it to Laowa for their Super 35 Ranger lenses. They're really compact. There's a set of three, at least there were a set of three when I got them on loan. They're really great lenses. They're super compact, and the focal range in the set is super versatile especially for dock style shooting. It's a great pairing for like the Red Komodo X and Red Komodo, for example, because those are super 35 millimeter cameras. So yeah, Ranger S35 lenses, great little lenses. Next up is a drone. Now this did not come out in 2024, but acquired it in 2024, and that is the Mavic 3 Pro Cine. Such a fantastic drone. Coming from the Air 2S, it is leagues better than the Air 2S, just everything from handling to the image to, and then you get the three lenses, which is awesome. Now, my biggest complaint with the Mavic 3 is it doesn't give you D-Log in the other two lenses. You just get D-Log in the wider lens, which is super annoying because they don't exactly match. But the D-Log on the wide angle lens looks so freaking good. And I haven't really made a review on that drone on this video. I think this might be the first time talking about this drone on this channel, but there's so much content already out there on this drone that I really wouldn't add too much now to the world of YouTube, because everything's been pretty much covered. So yeah, but I really love that drone, and the screen that comes with it is so nice. It's got a giant screen. It's got an HDMI out, so you can actually send a signal out to a client feed, which is cool. Just kind of get them off like looking right over your shoulder. So that is super nice. Yeah, all in all, really love that drone. And I think the Mavic 4 is rumored to be coming out soon. So just another thing to make you feel poor, I'm sure, because I'm sure it won't be cheap. All right, moving on to filtration. I'm going to give this to Element Filters. I have their full stop ND set as well as a couple of their diffusion filters, and I absolutely love those filters. I used those on a doc project earlier this year for one of my clients, and they're just so clean, and like they don't have any kind of color shift. The NDs, they don't have any kind of color shift. And you know, you got a wide range of NDs and you can stack them, which is super nice. And they are IR NDs, which is also super handy, especially for cameras that are prone to IR pollution. Looking at like even like the Pocket 6K Pro and all those, that even the NDs in there, they're not that strong and they're not that good, to be honest with you. So using IR, you have to use IR cut usually with those cameras, and then those NDs typically have a color shift as well, which the full stop NDs from Element Filters don't. So super good. And then their diffusion filters, the open line, are really nice. I actually like using just like the 1/16 strength on the Komodo X. It just kind of takes off a little bit of the edge when you're using a sharp lens like the 18-35 or even the 24-70 Art from Sigma. And yeah, super awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I need to make a video like on those to kind of show just comparisons, because people have asked me like, how does it compare to the Black Pro Mist or Hollywood Blackmagic? So I need to go out, I guess, and buy some of the same strengths of diffusion for each of those so that I can compare them. So anyways, yeah, Element Filters, super awesome filters, both the open line and the full stop NDs. All right, next up is the battery world. Batteries aren't typically super exciting, but Core definitely wins the battery category and worth mentioning in my 2024 favorite gear, just because how great they are. So real quick, we got the Nano X. Those are kind of like the Nano Micro batteries, but they're much improved. You get V mount and G mount as well, but they have a little display on the back, kind of gives you an estimated run time and a percentage, which is just super convenient to see from far away. And it has the communication ability with the Red Komodo X, so it can provide power or percentage power over the display to the Komodo X, which is really nice. And then the Power Base Edge Snap, those are really cool batteries. I got some hands-on with those at NAB and they are super cool. And what's really cool about those is at the same time they announced their PD Pro, and I think that's like the real winner of the battery world is the PD Pro. I made a video from NAB talking with Joe about PD Pro, and he goes into a little bit more detail about that. So be sure to check out that video and stay on watch for my video coming out probably in the next month or two about those. So if you are not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you'll be able to, hopefully it'll pop up in your feed whenever I post a video about those. All right, next up is the monitor right behind me. That is the PA32 UCGK from Asus. It's in their Pro Art line, and it's massive difference having a calibrated display when you're color grading. I notice a difference when I'm color grading. Before I was just using the Apple Studio display, and when I connected the Pro Art display through the Ultra Studio Mini 4K, I noticed a massive difference just between the two monitors, and when I got this calibrated and everything. I'll make a whole video on this, on how it's all connected and everything, so definitely go check that video out so go a little bit more detail, because I don't want to go into full detail in this video. Now for color grading, I got this micro color panel from Blackmagic Design. They were kind enough to send this out to me, and this is another one of those like just quality of life and workflow improvement things that it makes so much sense to pick one of these up, because for the price point, I think they're $300. I could be wrong, but $300, it makes such a massive difference. It's not as full-fledged as their full color grading panel, but even just being able to manipulate gain and lift at the same time, and see that interaction happen kind of in real time with both of those at the same time. Stuff like that makes such a huge difference to be able to see while you're color grading and making corrections. Sorry, people are like yelling outside of my door, so that's super cool. Now, it does take a little bit of time to get used to, and just like with muscle memory, like where all the buttons and the knobs and everything are. But once you like really kind of familiarize yourself with it, it really does make color grading so much easier. So if you're on the fence of getting one of these, I would highly recommend it. It's kind of like a no-brainer purchase. All right, well, keeping up with the theme of items, I guess, kind of on my desk, the next thing would be my server. And honestly, I think that might be the number one, like that's the top item for 2024 for me, because beforehand I was just kind of running off like a bunch of the different little T5, T7 hard drives, not the SanDisk ones, because those absolutely suck. Don't buy any SanDisk hard drives because those are terrible. I've had a couple fail on me. But the server is such an amazing workflow enhancement. It's connected to a switch via 10 gigabit Ethernet and all the nerdy stuff. If none of that makes sense to you, I made a video on the server build. It kind of goes into detail of how it all connects and everything, but I would say that's probably the number one thing for 2024 for me. It's just such a workflow enhancement, having everything connected to the server, being able to access it remotely, and knowing that there is redundancy built into the server. I mean, like, you know, if a drive fails, I think I have 2 drive fail tolerance or whatever it's called. But what a difference this has made to my workflow. And I mean, for a lot of videos, I can actually just edit right off the server, which is really cool. For some reason, my R5 Mark II, for some reason, like my server does not like reading those files, but like I can edit R3D and B-RAW off of the server, that's pretty freaking cool. So yeah, server, definitely a wise investment. If you are not invested in a server, then I would highly recommend that be your 2025 investment, because it is such a game changer to workflow. Game changer. What a cool word. So overused. All right, it would not be a favorite gear video if lighting were not part of this. And for me personally, it would be the Aperture Lightstorm 600C Pro Mark II. Great light. The Mark I was a fantastic light, but they made it even better and brighter with the Mark II version. And I made a video on that as well, and it's a fantastic light. Now, right at the time of recording that video and publishing it, it was like right before or right after they announced the Storm 1200X. Now, I've not actually gotten to use one of those quite yet, but I feel like that the Storm 1200X would probably trump and probably knock the 600C2 off of this list, or if not, the new Storm 1000C probably would knock it off the list. But I still think the 600C Pro 2 is still a fantastic light, but the new Storm lights look super sick, so hopefully I can pick some of those up in 2025. All right, now moving on to cameras, because that's what everybody cares about on YouTube, and well, cameras are cool, so I'm gonna have to talk about cameras, but save the best for last, right? All right, so for stills, dedicated stills, it's definitely going to be the Fujifilm X106. This is such a fun little camera. I bought it with the little wide-angle lens attachment. I think it turns it into a 28mm field of view. Yeah, this is just an awesome camera. Like I have it just set to some film profile. I think it's like a Portra 800 like film recipe or whatever they call it. And yeah, I just run it, save it into the HEIF format, or HEIF, however you say it, and transfer those right to my phone and send them off to Shutterfly for prints. And it's just such a great little family camera, travel camera, like an everyday camera. I can bring this thing everywhere with me, even like my little everyday backpack, which was like not a camera back. I just throw this in there because it's so small, and the images they just look so nice straight out of camera. And like I shoot in RAW and in the HEIF format, I think because I have commitment issues, but I don't think I've ever opened one of the RAW photos except for like the first few photos that I took, and I was like, well, the JPEGs or the HEIFs look just as fine. So yeah, but I found that shooting in the high efficiency image format, however you pronounce that, yields better prints than JPEG for some reason. So that's just kind of my experience. So I don't know if that's helpful to you, but yeah, I absolutely love this camera. The video is pretty good, but I'll be honest, I've never even shot any video except for like 3 or 4 clips just to like look at the files. But I got this purely for taking photos for like family and stuff. All right, now for a hybrid camera, because I wanted to kind of separate the stills camera, dedicated stills camera, from my hybrid camera. That's definitely going to go to the R5 Mark II. I'm using that to record right now, and I really think it is, for me, it's definitely the best, but I think it's one of the best hybrid cameras on the market now, because it has Canon Log 2, doesn't have a record limit. You're able to run XLRs into it using the little Tascam unit. The image looks fantastic. It records in 8K and 4K 60, 4K 120. A lot of what I use this camera for is like social media and stuff, and I've never had a client ever from any of my cameras ever say, wow, that looks so line skipped. I'm appalled. They don't care. And for interviews and quick piece to camera, if I'm shooting in 24p, I'll use the 4K fine mode. But honestly, line skipping is such an overblown topic, and only camera nerds on YouTube really care about it. I love y'all, but it's a perfectly usable image. That's my rant. But I love the camera. The stills performance is amazing. If it were just for stills, I would not have upgraded from the R5 Mark I, because the R5 Mark I's stills performance for my needs were perfectly fine. But the video capabilities of the R5 II definitely make a huge difference. And I got the cooling grip for it as well. And battery life is obviously better with the cooling grip, and it helps with, you know, filming long interviews and stuff. And I like the form factor of it for handheld as well. Adds a little bit more weight. So yeah, awesome little camera. Love it for video and for stills. It's kind of like my go-to camera for, you know, filming events or like social media stuff, where I just like throw it on the gimbal and get whatever footage that I need. So I absolutely love it. Huge fan of the camera, and really glad that I picked it up. Now for the video camera, this is definitely going to go to Blackmagic Design with their Pixis 6K. I got it right behind me, and it's like starting to like finish out the full build of it. And gosh, I love this camera. It's such an awesome camera. Once I'm finished with the build that I'm working on right now, I'll definitely make a video of it, because like it's like almost the perfect camera build for my needs. And I think it'll apply to a lot of folks out there, especially for solo filmmakers. So yeah, but I absolutely love the Pixis. The image out of the Pixis and the Cinema Camera 6K full frame is absolutely gorgeous, and you know, paired with, you know, some really great lenses like the Leica R's, for example, just an amazing little combo, or with the Laowa, the Nanomorph 1.5x squeeze lenses. Even though it records an open gate, if you go to the Super 35 4x3 mode for the Nanomorph lenses, the Super 35 versions, because now the Nanomorphs they have LF versions as well, but you can actually get a 2:1 aspect ratio, which is really cool. I made a video on that. And yeah, it's just kind of a cool little combination to record in anamorphic lenses, but have a closer to 16:9 format for, you know, web deliverable and stuff like that. But you still get some of the anamorphic characteristics like the oval bokeh and the streaks and flares and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, anyways, absolutely love the Pixis. It's such an awesome camera, and they've even made updates to it since the release to make it an even more usable camera. Still waiting on the monitor. I got that on pre-order with B&H. I got the like monitor with the mounting kit, kind of like the mid-tier version. So once that's in, I will be finished with my camera build, and then I will make a video on that. But anyways, that's quite a long rant, long video, but hopefully you were just like making your coffee or listening to this on the subway or driving into work or something like that, because you know how, you know, my voice is so soothing and whatnot. But all seriousness, 2024 was an awesome year. Was a really awful year too. I didn't really share it publicly, but my sister passed away earlier this year, so that was definitely probably one of the lowest points of my life. But we welcomed in our second child, so that was like a super high point of life. So kind of a wild ride of a year for 2024. Work was really great. Pretty much everything else was really great, except for the tragedy that happened earlier this year. But yeah, that was why I was kind of like hiding out a little bit from YouTube and social media. Just wanted to spend a little bit more time with family. But I am excited for 2025. A lot of cool things coming up. Client work, YouTube, all that kind of stuff I'm really excited for, and can't wait to share that with you, and hopefully you can join in on the journey. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this will definitely be my last video for the year 2024. So signing off now, and I will see you in 2025. Peace.